Okay, folks, today I've got the oven preheated at 350, or you could get your charcoal going. Like I said, weather's not great and I'm out of charcoal in a previous video. Got my Dutch oven over medium-high heat. I have about 2 pounds of chicken breast that is thawed. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil. We're going to let this heat up. And as soon as this is warm, we'll be right back. Alright, to our pan, we're going to add our chicken. I couldn't fit it all in one hand. But we're going to add all of our chicken, and we want to brown it. And we'll also add some salt and pepper. Alright, so I've got my salt and pepper on all my chicken, and we're going to let it brown up in the Dutch oven. And if your stove is uneven like mine, you're going to have to rotate things once in a while to keep your oil from pooling like it is over there. Alright, while everything else is cooking, I'm going to go over some of our next ingredients. We've got corn, chicken broth, a can of each. The corn has been drained of its liquid. Half of an onion, diced up. 1 bell pepper, whatever color of choice, and 1 jalapeno, seeded, and both are diced. Some corn tortillas. And butter. That's not real butter. That's honey butter. But it's also really good, but not for this recipe. And we're going to need some flour. Our chicken is getting nice and brown. So we're going to go ahead and, if I can get my tongs, just going to push all this to the edge. Sorry, keep hitting frame. Get some into there. Okay. Now, going to add our bell pepper right in the middle. Going to saute that up first for a minute. And actually, while we're at it, we'll just go ahead and add our onion. So we'll saute those vegetables up, and we'll be back at our next step. Alright, to our cooking pepper, onion, chicken mix, I've added a tablespoon of butter, and I've also gave each piece of chicken a turn. This has been about 5 minutes in. And also make sure you keep stirring your vegetables as they cook. Alright, after your onion is roughly translucent, your peppers are starting to look good. Going to add about a tablespoon of flour. And then we're going to build a roux. You just kind of want the flour to absorb any oil you've got in the pan. If you need to, you can always add more flour, but it's difficult to add a little more oil or fat. So, don't worry, you can move everything around you want. Looks like I need a little more around the edges. Alright, let's stir that in. Oh yeah, and we're also going to want to reduce our heat to low. Stuff starts sticking, give it a good scrape. Alright. Now after we've built our roux, a little flour didn't get quite out, but it's okay. To that, we're going to add our can of chicken broth, or you could use homemade, or pre-mixed stuff. We're just going to add all this in. we're going to go ahead and work. See how that area is turning kind of brownish? That's because we're working the roux and the broth together. Make sure you get all around the pan. Scrape the bottom of the pan. Okay. Now, make sure everything's kind of roughly evenly spread out. We can go ahead and bring it back up to about medium-high heat. And we're going to let this come up to a simmer. That'll help thicken the sauce. Also, while that comes to a simmer, go ahead and add the can of corn. So that has time to come to temp too. Now that everything's thoroughly bubbling away, we're just going to drizzle in about a 1/4 cup whole milk. Doesn't have to be whole, but 1/4 cup of milk. And a few tablespoons of heavy cream. This is going to help tighten up the sauce and give it a wonderful consistency. It's just yummy. So there it is with our milk and cream mixed in. Now we're going to let this reduce down until it's kind of a saucy, creamy gravy, kind of a light gravy consistency. Alright, now that the sauce is reduced a bit, this is about 5, more like 3 tortillas, corn tortillas that I had actually chopped up for something else and I didn't use. Oops. This works. And we'll just soak them in. You can also do this with flour tortillas. It's really good with that as well. And looks like I need a couple more. Yeah, you're going to need probably 5 to 10 tortillas for this project. Like these. They're all broken up. Makes it kind of hard to use. Since they're broken up, sorry. Break them up a little more. Throw them in. Sorry, you got a wonderful shot of my forearm. Unless you're in a forearms, and then in that case, you're welcome. We'll just stir that in. It's okay if it's not perfectly thick sauce-wise. Tortillas are going to absorb some of this moisture. Try not to let them stack too much. Yeah, mix them in. If you got pockets, try to move stuff around or throw in more tortilla. I actually do have a tripod on the way, so hey, hopefully soon you won't have any, hand covering the camera shots anymore. The reason I'm not throwing these in just whole is being portioned out. They're easier to put where they're needed, and also they'll absorb, those ragged edges will absorb things just a smidgen better. Alright, now to our mixture, we're going to coat it with some shredded cheese. Now for a little more color, you could go with cheddar, you could go with a mix, shred your own, I don't care. This happens to be mozzarella just because we brought a pillow-sized bag of mozzarella, we gotta use it up! Alright, let's see here, mozzarella. Pepper jack would be also good if you like things a little spicy. Just a little more in that corner. Okay. Next, you're going to need a couple hot pads. If you're doing this inside, like I am. we're going to put this into a 350 degree oven, or you can go ahead, use charcoal on your Dutch oven outside at 350. You're going to need to set 7 on the bottom, 17 on top for a 12-inch Dutch oven. Next, we have our alarm or timer for 30 minutes. And I also forgot to mention, for this recipe, we're going to want some of the moisture to evaporate. So wad up a piece of aluminum foil to about 1/2 inch thick, and you could stick that in the edge between your pot and lid of your Dutch oven as a spacer to allow evaporation to get out of the pot. Oh, that looks good. Stay back, kiddo. It's very hot.
Yummy, yummy, huh?
My wonderful camera person can come on in. Take a look at that goodness. We're going to let it set for a few minutes. Let the bubbling stop. And then we'll go ahead and serve this wonderful casserole. And there you guys go. This chicken enchilada casserole. It is delicious. You can also top it with some more cheese, some cilantro, dollop of sour cream. However you like your tacos, you can usually actually dress up your casserole that way. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it. And if you can also let us know the things that you like in your enchiladas. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. See you then. Bye.
Go.
So I just had a fly hit my face.
No, I can see it.
Go away. Alright. Now.
Okay, okay.
Alright.